The New York Times editorial board is not messing around this week, particularly when it comes to Donald Trump. They put out an editorial, and this is how it started. A black American flag with "He is dangerous in word, deed, and action." And they're not talking about like the new MCU villain. No, that's about Donald Trump, the Republican nominee for president, or soon to be crowned nominee for president. They say that he is unfit to lead. And then they describe him as a chilling choice against this national moment. And then there's even more. It just gets worse and worse for Donald Trump as we go.
The video will continue in just a moment. But first, I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival. So please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
They note that the former president and convicted felon has now become the Republican nominee 3 times in 8 years, saying a once great political party now serves the interests of one man, a man as demonstrably unsuited for the office of president as any to run in the long history of the republic, a man whose values, temperament, ideas, and language are directly opposed to so much of what has made this country great. They say that the events, criminal cases, January 6th riot, and other indicators, which it categorized as moral fitness, principled leadership, character, a president's words, and the rule of law, indicated that Trump had, quote, shown a character unworthy of the responsibilities of the presidency. They say that instead of a cogent vision for the country's future, Mr. Trump is animated by a thirst for political power to use the levers of government to advance his interests, satisfy his impulses, and exact retribution against those who thinks have wronged him. They also focus on the fact that, and they got into this with the rule of law, that he is like viscerally on a genetic level opposed to the law and constitution that forms the basis of our country. And I disagree with the New York Times. I certainly disagree with the New York Times editorial board quite often, but I agree with every single word that they've said there. I think it is very easy to focus on what's happening in politics right now and to be like hyper focused on that. But I do not think it is hyperbole to say that he is the least qualified to lead our nation of anyone who's ever been put forward by a political party, at least in the last century. And the fact that there are tens of millions of Americans that see all of this and like it is deeply worrying. It would be one thing if we knew who he was, but he did a good job of hiding it. And like we're trying to get people to understand it, but he puts forward a totally different face. That is not where we're at. He delights in his failings, and his base does too. All of this is out in the open. All of it is transparent. And unfortunately, he still stands a pretty good chance of being president. Mondale, what do you make of this?
I think we all got a class. I think every American that loves the Constitution in this country and democracy has and actually, I think everybody in the world who loves democracy and America's position has a class action lawsuit against The Apprentice, because they sold us this fake ideal about Donald Trump and they knew it was fake. They knew he didn't have the money. They knew no real billionaires, Warren Buffett, none of them would take that position. And they made Donald Trump this guy, this idea of Donald Trump that we have all came from that show. And it's been said now by one of the producers that it was a fraud. They went into the Trump Tower. It was musty. The couches was raggedy. There was no big boardroom. They made that for the show, and the world believed that was Donald Trump. And now he's moving around with the same idea that, hey, if I fool the people on Apprentice, I can fool the people in the real White House. And this is what we're getting. And all of these people are running around calling him the greatest business person of all times when he's failed at every business is based on this. So I think we got standing. We should form a worldwide class action lawsuit to shut down the producers of Apprentice and charge them for ending democracy and the greatest democracy ever.
I love it. And as you pointed out, yeah, some of the people involved in it have come out and just been like, this is what we did. It's been absolutely devastating and everything. Like, yeah, I don't know if obviously reality shows lie. That's what they do. It's never been this consequential before, I don't think. I mean, look, I disagree with some of the choices for Top Chef, but it hasn't really mattered to me, even in terms of food that much. I think that Shota got robbed a couple seasons ago, but I don't think it's really gonna affect the nature of our system of government. In this case, though, you're 100% right. And look, that was the biggest, maybe most consequential phase of the decades-long lie that is Donald Trump. He is not who he was sold as. He has never been what he was sold as. He is what he is actually. And he does a terrible job of hiding it, as I alluded to. And I'm glad that they're being super clear about this. Obviously the New York Times editorial board, they make, they have preferences in the primaries in the general election. I don't know if they didn't talk like this about John McCain or Mitt Romney, because while I think the idea of either of them being president is devastating, it is simply worlds apart from Donald Trump being president. And we made it through 4 years of that, and there was a hell of a lot of damage done. And the prospect of 4 more years of a more emboldened and more protected Donald Trump, thanks to our corrupt Supreme Court being in power, I think should worry literally everyone. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.